everyone. Welcome to the Stock Market Morning Prep video for Tuesday, May 5th. Well, we got some interesting developments in the markets here. Right now, as of yesterday, obviously it was very, very quiet, dull. Friday was actually kind of a dull event as well, unless you were trading in the pre-market. But we've really had some dull days with absolutely no volume. So where are we going here? Where is this market going to go higher? Is this market going to go lower? Bonds are actually absolutely rolling over hard, like I mentioned last week. Is that going to put money into equities? We do have the transports that continue to show weakness. So we have a total mixed picture here. And what does that happen to many traders? They get confused and they just start trading and start making some huge losses, big mistakes, not what you want to do. So what we want to do is analyze the markets accordingly, figure out which way the markets may be headed, and then let price tell us which way to go and trade that trend, okay? So let's dive right into it. So last week I showed you the TBT, which is the short bonds. So you buy TBT to get short bonds. And as you can see here, I had this base I showed you, and look what's been happening here. We've been actually breaking out to the upside. So that is good. So why is that good? Well, it's good. It should be good for the bulls, at least if we have a sector rotation, bonds getting sold and money coming out of bonds going into U.S. equities, right? And abroad, obviously. Now, if equities are not going to rally, then we have bigger trouble here, because then we have more sellers than buyers if that is the case. Or money is leaving bonds and not going into U.S. equities, and that still needs to be figured out, possibly maybe going into commodities. So it's too early to say, but we need to be really sharp here on what's happening with bonds. I do think bonds go lower. We've had a bull market in bonds since 1981, and I mentioned that also last week. And I do think that any big rallies in bonds, I would love to short. Again, that's me. Make sure your analysis works as well. But bonds lower and TBT higher. Okay, so that's bonds. And the good thing now, as far as the bulls are concerned, is if bonds are selling off, yields are rising. That's obviously good for what? Banks and financials. XLF, you can see we're starting to kind of break that base. 25, we need to take out 25 in order for us to move higher. If the banks and financials can start to move higher and bonds sell off, I think money will come back into equities and push the markets higher to make all new all-time highs. Okay, so banks and financials higher, bonds lower, money comes in and starts rotating back into equities. And then, of course, we can see the technology sector start to move higher as well. Then I think you're going to have another leg up in equities. Okay, again, too early to tell. Okay, so let's trade what we see first. But as far as the analysis is concerned, this looks pretty good so far. All right, now let's take a look at the indices. Russell. Russell had a two-day move up, very, very low volume. But we did have some sort of a move up here to the upside, back testing that 50-day moving average. And what you have here is just basically a bear flag. Okay. Now, does the market move higher? Possibly. Okay. But we don't know yet. It's still too early to tell. But again, IWM here kind of breaking down. So we want to see the markets obviously start to break higher. Along with that analysis, what we just mentioned, if bonds are selling off, market should move higher. Okay, and again, the banks and financials are doing quite well. All right, now let's take a look at the transports. Again, here is the canary in the coal mine. We have the transports weak. Okay, this is our leader. If the leader starts to break down and we get below this 200 and stay below that 200 for quite some time, I think we're going to have some problems. And that's something that we really need to address here. I don't like the way the transports are moving lower, or actually not moving at all, while the equity markets have bounced a little bit better. And again, banks and financials look good, but remember, when you do have a pullback or some sort of a correction, everything gets sold. So just keep that in mind, guys, all right? We have diamonds here. Diamonds doing okay, a little bit better. As you can see here, we had the symmetrical triangle we broke down, and now we have this little doji, which we're outside of that triangle formation. Actually, let me just kind of do it like this. We're just going to redo our triangle here. All right, so we're still back into this triangle now, just made a bigger, wider triangle. So we're going to need to break out of either way, up or down, to get really where that move is going to be. Spiders, right? Now you have here, we have this nice ascending triangle and the spiders. A break below this lower trend line is going to add to some downside pressure. Again, a break higher is going to definitely add to upside pressure. That'll give us some new orders, new buyers coming into the market and stepping up, pushing this market higher. Okay, so in a nutshell, we have really a conflicting market here. We have bonds moving lower, yields moving up, is pushing banks higher, which is good to banks and financials. We do have the transports actually making lower lows, and we also have the IWM, our secondary leader, not really pushing the market. So we really have no leadership in our indices. We need to see which way this is going to happen here, which way this market's going to break. It's either going to break up or it's going to break down, one way or the other, and we don't know until price breaks out, right? We're not going to guess which way this market is headed because we've really been in a range. If you could see here, let's even call it from March, but you could see we've been really in a range-bound situation, in a trading range for at least the last few months. So what I want to do is I want to pick the best trades for the day as far as day trading. Would not want to hold anything in the overnight because you just don't know what's going to happen, what's going to occur. But let's keep it abreast on the markets. Let's pay attention to the banks and financials. Watch those transports, and let's see where this market is headed. Lastly, I just want to show you is the technology. Technology now is holding up a little bit better. So my guess would be that if the banks and financials rally, bonds continue to sell off, and the technology starts to move higher, I think new money will come in from the bonds and start to bid up this market again and push this market up to that 2150 area, and then we would reevaluate it. But again, that is just an assumption. We need to see what happens here, okay? We had some numbers that come out. We had some trade balance numbers that came out not so great. Pushed the dollar lower, and it's making all the other currencies higher. So we should have a decent trading day today. I'm hoping to get an outside day and where money comes into the market and or money gets sold. All right, and that's see if we can push this market lower. But we need some sort of a push out of this small range that we've been having here. As you can see here, we really haven't gone too much. So let's keep that in mind. Remember, for the trading day, make sure your analysis agrees with what I'm saying. Okay, and stick to your trading plan. If it's working, no need to change it. Have a great day, everybody. We'll speak to you tomorrow. Take care.